10 or 11 years old. In Boy Scouts, on week-long group camping trip with my whole troop and some parents as chaperones. Campground is a series of wooden shacks. Wooden bunk beds on 3 sides with the 4th side totally open, tarp hung over to keep wind/rain out. 4th night, go to sleep as normal. My spot was the top bunk in the back. Wake up in the middle of the night. Poke head up and see I'm in a different bunk, now on the top right side. Sleeping bag feels different, the stuff I kept around the top of my bunk isn't there. No idea what time it was. Notice weird lights coming from outside, small beams that appear to move on an axis. No pattern, but it kept this up the entire time I was conscious. Look in towards the center of the shack, see some kind of figure standing there, in silhouette. Head is tall and squared off, looked like 4 to 5 feet tall, head was looking down. Body looked mostly humanish, but small for how big the head was. Watch this thing for what feels like hours, but probably much less than that. Scared shitless, too afraid to move or do anything. Eventually put my head back down and try to go back to sleep, wake up in the morning in my usual spot. Probably just a dream, but definitely the weirdest one I've ever had. Also by far and away the longest. When I remember my dreams I remember only brief flashes and feelings, but this is different. I remember feeling around for my stuff, looking outside, down at the creature, back outside again, going back and forth a few times. One thing I wish I had done in hindsight was take stock of myself. I wonder if I was transported into the other kid's bunk, or if we had switched bodies or something.
Be camping in Northeast, venture off main trail to find comfy spot to set up. Eat, poop, go to sleep. Something wakes me up, some animals I figure. Here's something else, fucking little kids it sounds like. Figure there must be a family camped out, but I think it's fucked that a kid would be on their own in the middle of the night away from their parents, so I get up. Follow sound of kid, maybe 50 meters from camp, through wood and brush. Kid is hiding behind bush, I can hear them. Bush, round bush, no kid. What? Hear loud animal snort behind me, then branches break and something tearing ass off to the night. Couldn't see shit. Spooked at first, but realized it was probably some animal got startled. Get spooked again and remember there's no kid. Walk back to tent. Few steps from tent when I realize there are big ass claw marks, 3 claws each about an inch apart. On some of the closest trees to my tent, just above head height. I'm 6'1". Hide in tent with multi-tool knife. Nothing happens, especially sleep. Leave as soon as it's light out. Stop at the very first shitty local bar I can find for immediate day drinking. Old man at bar, looks Mexican or something. You okay, son? He asked. Tell him I was camping and got no sleep. Why is that? Tell him the story. Old man gets serious face. My people tell legends of things in the forest, he says. But this is strange. They didn't used to bother people. I do not fuck with the woods without guns now. Fuck Native American forest beasts.
So this is my own experience. I lived in a somewhat disconnected area of the Wicklow Mountains, Ireland. Anyway, be 17-year-old me. Out walking Innawoods with bow and arrows because mum is a cunt about using it near the house. I was tracking a load of rabbits. Hunting them. That metallic blood smell you people describe. I stopped dead. Dropped low at the top of a hill. At the bottom of the slope was a pile of rabbits torn apart in a decapitated deer. Ignore fears and go down to the pile of gore. Deer head had wounds that were rough and just messy. Rabbits just had their shit fucked up. Birds flutter away above me. I feel it. Something was watching me. I honestly pissed myself. Slowly stand and act as normal as I can, begin the trek home. In the corner of my eye movements followed. I was being hunted. Then it ran at me. Black fur, head resembled a deer, body more human-like and muscular. It takes me down because I'm fucking weak compared to it. Snarls, it bites at my face, but I roll over trying to reach an arrow to stab it with. It takes a small chunk of flesh from my back. Adrenaline goes into full swing. Kick and claw out of its grasp. Draw arrow and drive into its eye. Sounded like a human screaming but more feral. I run. It runs too. Turn and fire another arrow into its leg. It slows and I can outrun it. When I got home bloody and dirty, my parents weren't there. They came home shortly after I called them. Went hospital with a rag soaked with vinegar shoved into the hole in my back. There's a mark on my back to this day, and we've moved house to suburbs. It's been years since, but we don't even drive near woodland anymore. I'll upload my back mark in a few when I'm done with work. Also have more stories if anyone is lurking.
In the Mexican folklore, a Nahual is a skinwalker, and my family have a cabin next to the woods where lots of weird shit happens. Be 13 years old me. Dad took me camping a couple miles from cabin on a Mexican forest. Gets late and put some sand on campfire. At 2 a.m. wake up to something outside the camp. The wind blows so hard it light back the campfire. Dad tells me back to sleep but can see him nervous. Turn around and see a shadow from a humanoid by the campfire. Shit myself as we were the only people in 2 miles. The fucker last almost 2 hours lurking around and making weird noises. Pack everything in the morning and tell everyone why we come back so early, just the forest ranger believe from the people who come scared. Fast forward the last year. Hiking with friend 8 kilometers from the first story. Found a small graveyard for the town. Suddenly silence. No birds, no wind, just the fall of branches from the trees. Keep walking and hear talking a women. It could be other hikers, don't give a shit. Gets late and rainy, so came back to the cabin. Close every door because Mexico. Wake up in the morning. Every door in the house is open wide. Didn't took something. All is on place. Just the dirt muddy that comes to the bedrooms. Nope. Sleep next to gun the next time. Pick related is the graveyard from the second story.
Old yellow top, photo is of the creature. When silver miners founded the town of Cobalt in September 1906, they discovered the area came with an unexpected resident, a 2.1 meter tall ape-like creature with a mop of yellow hair on its head. People reported seeing the monster for 64 years. 2 prospectors, J. A. Macaulay and Lorne Wilson, spotted the creature in July 1923 testing their claims for silver. They both thought they saw a bear in a blueberry patch near the town, but it was Wilson who picked up a rock and threw it at the beast. The creature stood upright on 2 legs and the men saw it was no bear. It resembled an enormous man covered in black fur except for a blonde mane that fell from its head across its shoulders. Old Yellow Top wasn't through with Cobalt. In April 1947, a woman and her son walked along the railroad tracks toward town to grocery shop when the mother saw what she also thought was a bear. It was not. A monster that walked like a man went across the tracks in front of them, taking no notice of the two. She said it was covered in dark brown hair except for a yellow patch on its head. The last sighting was in August 1970. A bipedal creature walked across the road in front of a vehicle carrying miners. The driver, Amos Latriel, lost control of the vehicle and nearly drove it off a rise. Like the other accounts, the monster had dark fur except for a long, blonde head of hair.
I have plenty of spooky/weird stories, but my favorite is a bit more wholesome. Be me. On a camping trip with fiancé and the future in-laws. Great people, love them. Bittersweet, because this is the first camping trip without grandma-in-law. Passed a few months prior. Fuck cancer. She was a sweet lady, but I never got the chance to know her very well. Was too absorbed in university stress to make an active effort to know her. Regret it fiercely. Fiancé assures me that grandma liked me. Still regret it nonetheless. A little background. Ever since her death, family has been finding dimes around. Dimes were grandma's favorite coin. They take it as a sign she's watching over them. I don't believe that shit. Somewhat dismissive of it. Am a fossil nerd. Head to the beach with fiancé to look for some cool rocks. Nothing yet, but I'm determined to find something interesting. Stop in my tracks. Through the clear water, see a dime. Its silver coating was worn away. This golden dime looks like it was placed perfectly against a stone. Facing me. Fiancé sees me stop. What's wrong? Show fiancé the golden dime. Fiancé smiles. I told you grandma approved of you. Pic related, it's the dime. I keep it in my car with me as a good luck charm of sorts.
This was about 15 to 16 years ago. I was about 6. Staying in uncle's house in Northern California, Humboldt County. Trees everywhere, man. Wake up around 7 to 8 and go into the backyard to play with my uncle's dogs. There's no fence in the back since it's all forest. See a man-like thing on the other side of the yard right where the forest starts, looks like a giant ape. I throw my dog's ball at it. It throws back. It waves. Walks back into the woods. I saw it again when I was 14. Tossing football with younger bro in backyard. See the thing standing there again. We both wave at each other. Throw the football lightly to him. He picks it up and stares at it. Rolls it back to my bro. Walks back into woods. The last time I saw thing was when I was 17 and I was hiking. Tell that story. It throws it back. With force, or like it was playing catch with you. Like it was trying to play catch with me. Then that shit ain't spoopy, it's bro as fuck. Hiking around uncle's house. I sit down under a tree and pull out a bag of Doritos from my bag. Just enjoying nature. Pic related is where I sat for Doritos. Hear footsteps. See thing. I've never been this close to it. Around 8 feet tall and dark black hair all over its body. Its face is like a gorilla but more human-like. I get up. It sits down and starts playing with leaves. I sit down about 8 feet away. I take a bite of a Dorito. It looks up. Points to Dorito bag. I toss it to him and that fucker eats the whole bag. I hear a loud roar from across the forest and he walks away and waves. Me and my uncle and brother have experienced this thing from time to time. That was the last time I saw it though.
Sorry, English is not my mother tongue. Hanging out with childhood friends, girl and boy, in the local woods back when we were 17. Take my camera with me to take pics of the clear night sky and comfy fire, etc. Arrive at day and we set up our tents, secure the fireplace, etc. Sun begins to set, we still don't have enough wood. Stay at our place and prepare food while friends are collecting wood nearby. Girlfriend comes back without wood. She gives me a weird stare, then looks at the camera, takes it and goes away. Shrug it off, she can be odd sometimes. 20 minutes later friends return, both with enough wood for the fire. Guy friend starts making the fire. Girlfriend turns to me and gives me my cam back. I found it in the brushwood, she says. But you took it from me earlier. Laugh it off. She raises an eyebrow and guy friend mentions. What are you talking about? She's been with me all the time. Check their faces to see if they're serious. They look concerned. Guy friend suggests to check the cam. Go through pics. Blurred, random pics of trees and the ground. One pic shows my friends far away on the edge. Meanwhile girlfriend starts to panic. My hair stood on end. Pics get clear more and more. Friend jumps and starts crying when she sees the next pics. They are of herself looking at the cam with a death stare and fake smile to emotionless faces. She takes the cam and throws it in the fire. We get the fuck out of there. She's been in therapy for years. Guy friend and me also consider taking it.
Be me, work for a dude who has a workshop next to his house. His kids come over to 3 yo, can't talk yet, only says hey. Hey. I live alone, middle of nowhere. My house backs up to a couple hundred acres of dense, unoccupied woods. On my back porch, around 2 a.m., smoking a cig. From the woods, clear as day, hear hey. Hey. Exactly as the daughter would say, same voice. No way anyone would be in those woods at 2 a.m., let alone a toddler. Immediate chills. Immediately think of the movie Predator, and Missing 411. Nope.gif. Go inside, lock door, get gun. A year later, and my dog still looks out the window at those woods at night and growls, can never see anything. Pretty sure something tried to lure me into those woods. You couldn't pay me enough to go into those woods at night. Weird thing is, I live 20 miles away from work. How did it know what to sample/mimic? Spooking myself now even typing the story. Fuck that shit, whatever it is.
This one comes from the friend's granddad. Apparently he only told him the story once, it made his granddad very uncomfortable telling it. One day his granddad sitting on his porch relaxing at night after a hard day's work. He had a farm in Virginia, and he just finished harvesting all the hay in his fields. The hay was rolled up into large stack, and the guys was just staring at them under the moonlight. It was a full moon, and the light from it lit up the field. Off into the distance, on the far end of his property he saw something come out of the woods. The creature began jumping over the large rolls of hay in his field. It jumped over one after another, and looked to be having fun. It was like it way playing. The old man thought it was a deer at first, then realized how tall the hay rolls really were. No deer could clear that height. The old man was puzzled, and very curious as to what it was. As it came closer, he could see it. It was what he could only describe as a matter, or Goatman. It had deer-like legs, a goat-like head, and a humanoid torso. Oddly, he wasn't frightened, just sort of amazed. That changed when he realized the pattern of was jumping on would eventually lead it right to his house. It was zigzagging over the hay rolls, getting slowly closer. The old man was overcome with terror, and ran into his house to grab his shotgun. When he went back outside, it was gone.
Be me. In a woods with only like 15 guns and only one set of body armor, it was supposed to be a relaxing hike. Set up my tent, only brought one designed for 6 people, with only 3 rooms, because wasn't planning to camp. Dude's tongue my anus, I said, unprompted, as is tradition. Neguur's tongue anus echoes all around me, as if said by an angry cat being neutered without anesthetic. Based, I say, as the copper smell I definitely have no knowledge of hits me. The Jews are responsible for every war in recorded history, says the creature. That voice though. It's Adolf Hitler. But he died? So I start firing blindly into the trees, which is my right as an American. Uncle Adolf's voice shrieks in the righteous anger only a man persecuted by the synagogue of Satan can truly understand. Check for a body. No sign of the creature, only the families that were at the campground I parked at. None of the women or children look anything like Hitler. Oh god, oh fuck. Haven't been able to take amphetamines in the woods except for 2 or 3 times since. Really shook me up. I scoured the internet for stories about creatures in the woods that mimic voices and smell like copper but obviously found nothing. Anybody have any idea what it could have been? Fucking good stuff, Anon. Fucking keck. Put me in the screen cap. Set up my tent, only brought one designed for 6 people, with only 3 rooms, because wasn't planning to camp. LOL. Mindfuck incoming. One time I smoked weed in the desert of New Mexico, about 30 to 50 miles out of Albuquerque. It was the middle of the night, and I was on a side highway in the middle of nowhere, nobody around. Take about 3 hits of the joint. Usually have anxiety attacks, so I put it out before I get too high. Keep driving. Start having an anxiety attack anyway, so I pull over to the side of the road. Get out of the car to get fresh air and calm down. Standing there, breathing on the side of the road. Hunch over in pain all of a sudden. Some invisible force is constricting my entire body. It's constricting my heart. I can feel it's a sentient force of some kind, but it's hungry like a predator, without higher intelligence. Feels exactly like a reptile. It's too strong for me, and my body just sort of gives up, like pick related. Continuing for a new picture. Struggle with this creature for a few moments. Then all of a sudden my vision enhances. The whole desert lights up around me. Ground turns blue, sky turns bright purple. I can see exponentially more stars now. My attention is drawn to the Orion constellation, which I have felt connections to before. A beam of light shoots out of the belt region. It spirals perfectly, traversing the immense distance in less than a second. Stops above the ground about 100 to 200 feet in front of me, as if it were guided to that point. Standing in front of me is a light creature at least 20 feet tall. It's made completely of light and energy, like a rainbow silhouette. Pick related is the closest thing I could find, but it was more transparent than that. It was made of clear light. Made me think of the clear light described by a Taoist book I read. Its outline was rainbow-colored light. In order to even see it, my body and mind were channeling an enormous volume of electromagnetic energy. My body can barely handle it. I stare at it dumbly, body and mind completely immobilized by these forces. People who see light beings have got to be out of their freaking gourds. Constricting predator totally gone/forgotten. The being stood there and looked at me and didn't communicate. Part of me felt like it was stern. I don't remember seeing it leave, but then the encounter ended. So, yes, I do think there are souls in Orion. This encounter more than anything has given me hope that reincarnation and soul development is real. This being was huge. I wonder how old it was. Just think of the abilities it must possess to be able to traverse that immense distance so quickly. It really gives me hope for the afterlife. The Taoist book I read was called Healing Light of the Tao. Perhaps not coincidentally, the main objective of the book is to construct an immortal spirit body, and it spoke of a clear light that can be cultivated. Winter of 2018 or 2019, can't remember which. Whole family usually goes for night walks in a nearby mountain field with our dogs. Do this most of the winter, aside from one night where only my brother wants to walk. Takes our dogs and goes out alone. Small amount of semi-melted snow covering the ground, and it is a very dark, cloudy night without moon or stars. Field is surrounded on all sides by a forest, and is big enough that it takes us about an hour or so to loop all the way around it at a walking pace. Terrain is rather steep and rolling in places so that you feel sort of swallowed up by parts of it, and you can't see from one end of it to the other even at the highest points. Brother completes the majority of the loop and is crossing one of the steepest points when he notices something unusual ahead of him. Thinks it is a person at first because of how anthropomorphic it looks, and assumes it is me standing in the path to scare him. It suddenly turns to notice him, and he gets a better look at it. Definitely humanoid, but with long arms that remind him of an ape, and sort of hunched over as he described it to me. Dogs see it and start to bark, and the thing takes off at sonic speed up over the hill, all while in that strange hunched over posture. Brother returns home scared shitless to find me up in my room totally oblivious to what has just happened, and so I quickly put all of my stuff on, get a flashlight, and go out with him to look. Night is dark and becoming very foggy, and would be an eerie setting even if our task was more mundane. Search the area where he saw it, but find nothing at all out of the ordinary. Brother becomes so freaked out that he buys a shotgun very soon after this, and never goes for another night walk alone again. It actually made me really afraid to see how shaken up by the whole thing he was at the time, and I absolutely believe that he encountered something most unusual during his walk. I was camping in Colorado once with a group of friends. There were about 6 of us. We set up camp in a sweet rock outcrop where there were 3 large boulders leaning against each other with a hole at the top and enough room to sit underneath. This was during a fire ban. So it was the perfect place to put our campfire. We set up the tent not far off. Middle of the night comes and we are running out of firewood. We remember a campsite nearby that had nobody there during the day and plenty of wood, but we had been hearing voices all evening, just talking, nothing strange, and assumed it was that nearby campsite. So we walked over to ask if we could borrow some wood and chop some more to return it the next morning. The campsite was still completely empty at night. There was a jeep there and we figured the campers may have gotten stuck while four-wheeling during the day and we're sleeping in their vehicle. So we grabbed some firewood with the intent to replace it in the morning and walked back to camp. There were no other campsites we saw nearby when hiking earlier in the day, so we were discussing on the way back where the voices talking were coming from, but figured we just missed another nearby camp. Anyway, we are back at camp and winding down, me and one buddy taking shifts keeping the fire going and chatting a little and dozing off, and the rest of our group had headed to the tent and started sleeping. And we started hearing what we figured were coyotes or foxes. They can make weird guttural screams that sound like people. But we kept hearing footsteps around the camp, mostly gravel, and going out of our cave to check, make sure no coyotes were in camp, and never saw anything. Weird screaming persisted all night. Next day comes around and we replace the wood at the empty nearby campsite, pack up, and get ready to leave after a morning hike. It was a difficult 4-wheel trail to get out and one of my buddies got stuck on an incline and slid back. We started trying to dig him out and I, being at the top of the incline but in a vehicle that wouldn't help, drove up the trail to find nearby campsites and see if someone had a rig with a winch that would go quicker. I approached probably 15 campsites along the trails over a couple hours, every one of them completely empty and abandoned. The entire area had no human life. Generators, trucks, jeeps all just left at the campsite in the middle of the day. No luck, so went back to the site my buddy was stuck and we get him dug out middle of afternoon, and start to leave. The entire area on the way out was completely abandoned, tons of camps near the trailhead and literally nobody at any campsite. It became really eerie and we were trying to figure out if what we had heard the night before was actual coyotes or what. Anyway, few days later and some bodies appear in the area in the local news. Said they had died from unknown causes. There were about 4 over the entire area we were camping. No idea if the screams we heard were people or not, and no idea where the talking was coming from to this day. Not super scary but eerie enough.
Was me BTW. So I've never green texted before, so if this doesn't work, go easy on me please. Be a few nights ago. Living in a pretty suburban area, with small patches or bushland dotting the place but one particularly large one with a huge creek not too far from my place. Lying in bed when I hear someone letting the dogs out for a midnight piss break, don't take too much notice of it. Not long after, starting to doze off when I hear what I can only describe as a gurgly, yet still human, shriek. Sounded female, but only if said female had screamed whilst simultaneously drinking a glass of water. Wide awake now, confused as fuck, even more alert. Dogs hear it too, hear them bounding towards the fence, barking like they were about to have their final glorious battle. Shortly after the dogs begin barking, hear another strange noise. Started out as a deep Urrf sound, which sounded like a mix between Barry White going and one of those doorstop things that make that glorious sound when you flick them. Freaked the fuck out even more when after the initial sound, hear the same voice making an Urrf sound that is like a mix of a low as fuck seal cry and my ridgeback's bark, each one sounding more and more like the dogs. Grab my knife from next to the bed and run to the back door, hold it open a little and make the come inside whistle, which consists of 3 notes, that our dogs usually obey straight up. Both the dogs come barreling towards the door, the ridgeback runs straight in, but the fucking Jack Russell stops, turns around and starts yapping at the fucking fence where the noises were coming from. Urrf becomes more of a higher pitch, like the two barks were being played over each other. Fucking dog, come inside, fa 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 fa. Whistle again and tap the knife on the door, hear a small bang on the fence and the Jack Russell hightails it inside, tail firmly between its legs. Slam the door, lock both latches and pull the washing machine out a bit to block the door because fuck taking chances. Check both dogs for injuries, nothing, both seem happy as fuck, like nothing even happened, send them both to bed. Grab a torch and walk around the house, looking out random windows to see if it was some fucker screwing with me. Noon to be seen, half shrug it off and head back to bed, keeping the knife and torch even closer to me now. Laying down, beginning to doze off when I smell what seemed like rotting flesh. Half panic, half calm, considering that for some reason, the local rats like using our pool as a burial ground and we have to constantly fish out bloated rodents. Sit up, prepare to go out and check the pool through the window, when I hear it. Right from outside my bedroom window. I hear the exact same whistle we used to get out dogs to come inside, followed by one singular Urrf from what sounded like if I opened the curtains, I'd be face to face with whatever made the sound. Lose my shit, grab the knife, call dogs out, grab torch, temporary adrenaline plus anger fueled bravery, dogs must be feeling it, they're following without question. Sweep the yard, dogs sniffing around like dogs do, check pool, no rats, the fuck. Turn to go back inside, walk towards door, dogs both dart to attention, looking at the area behind the shed, hear a come out from behind. All I hear before bolting for the door, dragging the dogs inside is a grotesque sounding the fuck. Nothing has happened since then, I've checked behind the shed during the day, no signs of anything larger than a dog hiding back there, area is covered in low hanging vines, so it's irritating as fuck to go through it all. Not the greatest story, I know, but I felt that I should share.